This is Nash Sports Lady, and welcome back to a brand new video edits. Today I'm going to do my NRLW Round 2 tips. And obviously all the matches are going to be played at Wednesday in Wollongong. Obviously the home of St. George Illawarra Dragons. And the first match we're going to be doing is Newcastle Knights up against the Brisbane Broncos. Play at 12 PM. All the matches are, just for a reminder, are going to be played all Sunday for the whole season. And obviously it's going to be free to air. And we're going to go through the lineups here for the Newcastle Knights. So we've got Romy Tizelle. I believe she'll be the captain for the Knights. Caitlin Vakolo, Jermaine Freshard, Bobby Law, Katie Green, Antonia Rain, Stephen Daly, Talia Tillett, Caitlin Johnston, Krista Rotta, Anatia Nashuliala, Regan Morali, Edwards Bruce, Georgia Page, Kono Poco, Emma Milesman, Carly Scarlin, Fabi Desmond, Kura Dib, Matalia Federica, Kura Simon, Nako Tokoturu, Araka, Chanchelle Graham, Karania Wakahu, Paige Parker, Shannon Evans, and for the Brisbane Broncos side, it is Tamika Upton, Higo Mosby, Amy Turner, Shanice Shalokia, Emily Bass, Tara Aiken, Ali Brigginshaw, the captain for the Brisbane Broncos, Melly Boy, Lauren Brown, Shoshi Lauren Dizzy, Talisha Harden, Amber Hoare, Shara Shooter, Hayley Maddick, Kaylin Phillips, Roxy Murdoch, Lavinia Good, Jada Ferguson, Tony Hunt, Chena Palatia, Alessa Carletti, Mataafa, Jessica Reeves, Julia Robertson, Nakita Sayo, and obviously these two teams are coming off from a pretty bad and good performance. Obviously, Newcastle Knights coming off from a heartbreaking loss up against the Premier Eels when they had a couple of chances there from Kate Green to execute the game pretty well against the Premier Eels last week. Obviously, Matt Studden kicked the first field goal in NRLW history to defeat the Knights 12 points to 13, and the Brisbane Broncos are going to come off from a pretty uncomfortable win up against the Sydney Roosters. Defeating them 30 points to 6, I believe. As we're going to go back here, is 30. Sorry, it wasn't 30.6. It was 20 points to 4. I was pretty comfortable there from the Brisbane Broncos there, and yeah, I believe that the Newcastle Knights and the Brisbane Broncos are going to be pretty close. I think the Newcastle Knights, obviously for being a new team coming into this round, I think the captain Romy Tizelle is possibly going to get a couple of line breaks for them in this match. But the thing is, can Kay Green execute those plays there from bloody Talia Tillett from the left side there. And if they can, then I think it'll be pretty good for them. And I think the Newcastle Knights can actually get in this game pretty well. But they got to get in this game pretty well as they go up against a very experienced side, winning the last ever 3 premierships. Going up against the captain like Ali Brigginshaw and one of the greatest Queensland representatives for the women's Sir Roger series so far to make it opt-in. Yeah, it's been pretty good. For the Brisbane Broncos, they are a hard team to defeat. In this comp at the moment, obviously been hard to defeat for a while. The Warriors came close to them to defeat them, but for a new team for the Newcastle Knights coming off from a heartbreaking loss, couldn't finish off the game pretty well. I believe that the bench players can have a good impact in the game, and I think that's going to be a useful useful source for them to be able to challenge one of the forward packs. And there's a lot of players that I believe need to start improving. I think Caitlin Johnston, I think she needs to improve as well from what she was from last week. Talia Tillett was pretty good as well. I think she'll have another good game this week for a kicking game. Bobby Law was pretty good. I think she'll go pretty decent this week. Jermaine Freshard, I think she'll go pretty well as well. Via Colo was pretty decent in the first half, but I believe can she hopefully close the gaps in and possibly score in the corner? Who knows? It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to read the Knights at the moment and go up against a experienced side like you got, as I said before, like these players in here. I think it's going to be a pretty big challenge for the Newcastle Knights coming back from a heartbreaking and a bit of disappointing loss, as they had a couple of chances to close the game, as I said. And I reckon that the Brisbane Broncos will just win it from here. I think the Brisbane Broncos are going to win 24 points to 16. I'm going to go with gonna go with Ali Brinkenshaw to get man of the match. I think should be too good for the Newcastle Knights. I'm going to go with the first try scorer. I'm going to go with Tamika Upton. I think she's going to get the first try scorer for the Brisbane Broncos. It's been a very good, very good, very good addition for the Broncos. Not only from for last season, but also for this season as well. So far, and I think that Chelsea Leonard Dizzy will make more than 100 running meters, and I believe that that Ali Brinkenshaw is going to get a try assist as well, and yeah, that's basically going to be it. I'm tipping the Brisbane Broncos to win 24 points to 16. All right, move on to the next game, as we have got the Sydney Roosters up against the Gold Coast Titans, as I'm going to read it through here. So 1:50 p.m. And I'm going to read through the team list here, as we got for the Roosters side. Brady Parker, Leonie Tufuga, Jessica Sergins, Isabel Kelly, Chloe Reid, Justin Kalia, Rasheen McGregor, Sharo Togatiki, Oliver Higgins, Taylor Prediban, Yasmin Meeks, Oliver Koenig, Hannah Southwell, Swarden Burton, Kaylee Joseph, Zara Tamara, Simone Kapani, Joseph Morris, Coben Baker, Loretta Leo Steve, Artesia Puli, Samantha Economist, Maya Hill, Mayana, Taylor Adrian Mapusia. And for the Gold Coast Titans side, it is Vanya Paletti, I believe. Oh, no, she's not the captain, my bad. Karana Brown, Jasmine Peters, Tiana Mastran Smith, Lauren Dam, Grace Griffin, Camilla Brayi Nati, Simon Matto, Brittany Briali Nati, the captain for the Gold Coast Titans, Stephanie Hancock, Zara Canfield, Tasman Gray, Destiny Brill, Georgia Hale, Jessica Elliston, Brianna Clark, Shania Power, April Nagatupiana, Jetia Fafua, Haley J. Marshall, KB Jane Morgan, Lakitia Kalaki, Carly Henderson, Lauren Moss, and that's basically the whole side for this match. So Roosters coming on from a smashing loss up against the Brisbane Broncos, but I reckon that they had a couple of chances there, as they're going pretty well in the second half with the forwards and that. But the Gold Coast Titans were pretty close, and with the fullback Vanya Paletti going pretty well for the Gold Coast Titans, I believe Brittany Bray Nazi, the captain for the Gold Coast Titans, is a main target that the Sydney Roosters really need to watch out for. And obviously, it's going to be a tight match in my opinion. I do believe the Roosters, with the former Dragon, Jessica Sergins will be pretty good in this match. I think that's one of the players that the Gold Coast Titans really need to watch out for. And the four pack really needs to is it going to be pretty good here from both sides, I believe. The bench here, I reckon it's pretty even, and I reckon it's going to be a much more tight match than what other people are actually going to think. And even though I believe the Gold Coast Titans might actually get a win here, I'm going to go with a safer option just for experience. I think the Sydney Roosters, obviously, I think they're going to improve. They're going to show the Titans that, sure they may have lost against the Brisbane Broncos, but I believe that the Sydney Roosters, with a lot of good good quality players in there. I reckon that just goes us. Actually, no. I reckon that let's go with Shara Togatuki. We'll get the first try scorer for the Sydney Roosters. I'm going to go with man of the match. I believe that it is going to be. I believe it will be Oliver Higgins. I believe Oliver Higgins will be man of the match here for the Sydney Roosters, and I'm gonna say the try assist here. I'm gonna say. I'll say. Let's go with Racine McGregor to get a try assist for the Sydney Roosters. I'm going to go. Actually, no. I'm going to go with Jessica Sergens to get a try assist. Yeah, I think she should get only one try assist, and yeah, actually no. I think she'll get two try assists as I believe Shara Togatuki will run more than 100 meters. Yes, I believe that Sarah Togatuki will run more 100 meters, and I'm going to go with Sydney Roosters to win 1-12 here with a scoreline of. She's going to be a close one. I'm going to say the Sydney Roosters are going to win 18 points to 16. I think it's going to be a much more tight game than what actually is. I think Brittany Brie Nutty is going to be absolutely fantastic for the Goggers Titans here. I believe she's going to get a lot of good plays for the Goggers Titans in this match, and I reckon that it's going to be a pretty tight game. There's going to be a lot of open gap for both teams to score. Defensively, I think both of them are going to try and shut down one of the both key players, and I think it's going to be a really entertaining match. In my opinion, this could possibly be the match of the week in NRLW, and Sydney Roosters to win 18 points to 16, 1-12, and let's move on to the last ever match of round 2. So we've got the St. George Illawarra Dragons going up against my team, the Paramount Eels. Obviously, St. George Illawarra Dragons coming off from a really good win against Goggers Titans. Obviously, they escaped a little scare there in the second half, but they were pretty convincing off from Emma Tonegalo. She was pretty good in the last ever game. Jermaine Chapman was pretty good as well. Madison Bartlett was pretty good. Tala Fiumano was alright. Rachel Pearson was pretty decent. I think she was possibly one of the best sub players for the Dragons last week, in my opinion. Elise Albert was alright. She had a couple of silly errors there for the Dragons. Kizzy Apes, pretty decent for the Dragons last week. I've got to say the lineup, but I won't go through it as I'll show you the lineup quickly here. And I just want to go quickly into the match here, and coming off from a thrilling win for us from last week. May Stone getting the field goal for us, the first ever field goal in NRLW, as I repeat that again. But let's see Betty Walsh, as I said in my review, she looked like she was running more faster than what Clint Gufferson does in real life. Tiana Navidi was pretty good. She had one good line break that nearly made her get a try, or possibly she could gone open like an inside, but obviously no support play from there. Tiana Penatani was obviously good as always. I expect her to be pretty good against Knights, and I think I'm going. And obviously, Tiana Penatani is facing off against her former side, so it's gonna be pretty good match to see how she does against her old side here, Tiana Penatani. Justice Daniels was alright. Horn was pretty good in the wing. Nato Katoa, obviously she was pretty important in those moments to get us to level. Obviously, she made a couple of errors, but I expect her to improve on those errors and make sure she stays consistent with the ball handling there to be able to get more moments to execute for us before the Dragons get to those first. May Stone was obviously very good as well. I expect her to step up and be a pretty good conductor for us in this match. Kenny Sheraton was alright, but yeah, I expect to improve as well. Ellie Johnson's pretty good. I think she'll be a pretty good impact play for us. But I think the most impactful player to obviously look out for the Eels is Samantha Samima Tafar. I think she was the man of the match for me for last weekend. You know, she's gonna be a really impactful player for us. Getting those good revive meters there. I think she's gonna get a good line break there. I think that this is something the Dragons really need to watch out for in the middles there. And bench players, I believe that the Premier Eels bench players are much better than the St George Illawarra Dragons. There might be me being biased, but you know, with the likes of quality players like Abby Church, Sarili Malangi was pretty decent. Atson, Philo, Mina, and Nessie. I believe that the Eels bench is much better than Dragons at the moment from what I can see here. And I believe that the forward pack for the Eels is going to be pretty decent, and it's something that the Dragons like Kezi Apes really needs to watch out for. And you know the backs for the Eels, it looks pretty even. I believe that something that the Eels really need to watch out for the Dragons is Amateur Tonagato. I think obviously our defense against the fullbacks like Tazelle for the Newcastle Knights, I've really had a couple of line breaks there in the first half, and I think that if we can play good defensively in the first half, and obviously get a couple of good plays in the centres and edges, I believe we can start off good. And yeah, I'm going to go with the first try scorer, and this is going to be a pretty big call. And Dragons fans don't get pissed off at me when I say this, but I reckon Tiana Pinatani is going to get the first try scorer in the match up against her old club, and my man of the match is going to be, I believe I'm going to give it to Maddie Studden. I think she's going to be pretty good in this match. I think she's going to lead this team pretty well against the Dragons. And for the amount of run meters for my specials is going to be Samia Imara to run more than 100 meters. Now you want stuff. I'm going to say she's going to run more than 110 meters. I know that's pretty uncommon in the women's game, but you know, I'm going to go with a captain to run more than 110 meters. And for the male try assist, I'm going to give it to let's go with Serena Nato. Even though she had a pretty 50-50 game for last week, I think she's going to improve her ball handling. I think she's going to be a pretty important game for us. If she can like handle the ball better than what she did from last week, I think she's going to go pretty well. And for the Dragons, you know, I think Rachel Pearson really needs to step up in this game, and I believe that in enable for the Dragons to win this, I think the backs really needs to really find the Premier's weakness at the backs there. Same what we do, same what other teams find our edges in our defense in NRLW. In the NRL there. So yeah, that's my tips for this week. Oh yeah, I've got a scoreline. My bad. I'm gonna go with the Eels. If we can start, well, I believe this is gonna be a pretty big call. Call me biased, but I reckon the Eels are gonna win this 13 plus. I'm gonna go with the Premier Eels to win this by. Let's go with 28 points to. I'm going to say 28 points to 18. So yeah, 1 to 12. The Eels to win 28 points to 18. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up my NRLW round 2 tips for this week. I hope you guys all enjoy my tips. If you are brand new to this channel, please like and subscribe for more loyal content in the near future. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been National Sports Loaded. Take care and peace.
Coming in hot.